Oh, we're recording. Um, what am I gonna say? This is mostly just poly painting. I wasn't sure if I was gonna post this because it's kind of boring, in my opinion. But hey, I figured out how to do it in Blender, and I'm not talking about like a complex texture painting or anything like that. I'm really just talking about super basic levels of vertex paint, just to separate all the shapes, figure stuff out. And normally I do this early on because it helps with the ideation process. And basically you can test out shapes, but because it's just paint, it's completely non-destructive. So very useful to do early on, but I did not know how to do that in Blender. Until today, I just watched a video and like, oh, okay, that's how it works. And it was a bit frustrating at first because I didn't know how to sample colors without sampling the matte cap color below. Because in ZBrush, you just press C and you get the flat color automatically. It does not matter what matte cap you're using. But in Blender, yeah, it just kept sampling color, making it darker and darker because of the matte cap. But then I realized, hey, you can just save color palettes. And you can probably do that in ZBrush as well. I just never needed to. But usually I just start with two colors, a bright color and a darker color. But because we're so far into the sculpt, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna need more colors right now just to separate all of these little pieces. I say separate, not really, just to make things more clear. So I'm going the easy route right now, just white, dark, and then some color areas, because that just always work. And I'm not really looking for the final color scheme or anything like that, even though it is growing on me. Really just trying things out super late into the process. But yeah, it helped me realize that some areas still need work. The head, for example, I have not touched the head in forever. I did not like it at the beginning, and I do not like it now. I don't know what I was thinking. I was probably watching a movie too intently, because I like having movies in the background. Must have been a good movie. Anyhow, needs work. I like a lot of the upper back though. I'm really happy with that. Even though it looks noisy, the noise is in mostly the right places, I think. And once we have the different material separation, I think it'll be awesome. So here I just added a fourth color because we just have so many elements already. So we're so far into the sculpt that we just need another color. And if I'm being honest, the final character will probably have more than just 5 different materials or colors. But for the time being, I think this is pretty much all we need. But definitely recommend doing some of this earlier on so you can test shapes very quickly, non-destructively, very useful. Like right here, I'm drawing some shapes that aren't really there in the sculpt. But hey, we can do it because it's just polypaint. And the hands are kind of getting in the way, so I did separate them. I actually merged the entire sculpt into a single piece because I discovered that makes painting it a lot easier. But the hands were getting in the way, so separated those for the time being. It's very easy to split everything back up, so not really concerned about that. Nothing is actually merged. It's just combined for the painting process. But like I said, basic paint. But here's where I can try slightly few different shapes, even though the sculpt might not allow for it. And basically just experiment with what's going to be what. And it really helped me realize that some pieces I just neglected for too long. Like this abdomen, or whatever we call it, the abs, I guess? No, yeah, the abdomen. It's way too noisy. I have to just smooth it out and simplify it. I do not like the amount of detail that's there. It's just completely random. It's too much detail. We need to put the detail in the right places. Near the edges of things or where things join with another. But just there in the middle, filling the entire area is not ideal. So here's what we ended up with. It's not final. A lot of this is going to change. The purpose was to figure out what works, what doesn't. I discovered that this works really well, or at least I like it very much. The way that color trim is integrating with the armor plate looks really cool. Whereas in contrast, this is just like there. Not my favorite. I want to try to do something more like this. Over here somewhere, who knows, maybe on some of the other plates this one's also very plain. And as I already mentioned, This needs to be cleaned out, simplified. Head also needs work. This needs some work as well. But yeah, I'm mostly happy with where we're heading.